Yeah, hello everyone. Greetings from NSN Hyderabad. Today we are looking at digital skills, future skills, and also looking at an important platform, a landmark initiative from the ministry as well as nasscom to educate and skill people about future skills and digital skills. We have with us Ms. Kirti Seth, who's the head of Future Skills Prime platform. She's worked on it extensively, has been leading and guiding the entire team, being the architect of the platform as I get to know about her. And Ms. Kirti has had a phenomenal career in IT sector, and she was with NIIT for a very long time, I think, in her career. And now let's understand from her the importance of this platform and also how this platform connects Digital India with Skill India. So let's get started, Ms. Kirti. We would really love to hear from you more about the platform and few other aspects about skilling in the digital space.
So thanks, Madhuri. I think the way I'll answer your question is a little bit in terms of numbers because while we can keep talking about how things are good for us, it's good to translate into what it means for the country. As you mentioned, this is a joint initiative of the Ministry of IT and nasscom. It's the first of its kind public-private partnership. So important to note that it's the Ministry of IT that has partnered with us, while we are part of Sector Skills Council, nasscom, and that is a part of the Ministry of Education now, as it is called. But the IT ministry thought it was important enough topic to partner with nasscom on this. And the number we like to quote is the $1 trillion digital opportunity for India. If we look at the GDP of India, and our ambition of reaching a $5 trillion in 5 years, and we look at a $1 trillion digital opportunity, it means 25% of the GDP of India, what it can be is on digital opportunities. That's one part of the numbers. The other part of the numbers is if we just go back 12 months of what we have all experienced, of complete shutdown of the world, but it wasn't a shutdown.
Yeah.
So many of us managed to work, so many of us managed to eat yummy food, so many of us could buy whatever we wanted to. Everyone created their own little home gyms because they could buy everything on on a portal. So digital technologies really helped us to survive and thrive in this pandemic. I mean, if you can call a 7% reduction in GDP thriving, I would say yes, it is. I mean, when we shut down as a country and we only experience 7%, that's a miracle.
Right.
So digital is everywhere. This pandemic has taught each and every individual that technology is no longer about IT. Technology is not about the computer science geeks, if we call them that. Technology is not only for the engineers, technology is for each one of us. I can talk for very long about the whole, how technology is all pervasive. And if we are not getting digitally skilled or digitally fluent, I like to use the word digitally fluent, and I'll explain that. But we will miss out on what's happening in this world, not only in terms of our understanding of the world, but in terms of the opportunities that are out there. So that's really the reason for existence of Future Skills Prime, to build a platform which can go out to every Indian citizen to say, hey, the world is, and we as we as the government and as the industry recognize that we need to do our bit to help, and this is our contribution.
Yeah. So nice to hear about the vision of the Future Skills Prime platform that you just shared, and how it is going to help millions of young people in India, particularly to catch up with digital skills. Now, just connected with it, you have already given an example of how our lives have all become digital, and it is no longer somebody who has to be the traditional tech savvy kind of a person. So as the enterprises are turning digital, how do you think we can be demand driven in terms of skills? Like what would be the latest skills with which the young people should acquire? And how are we going to manage this, let's say, from this platform or any other initiative that is complementing this to address the industry demand?
So that's a pretty long question, but I'll try and answer it short. I think the first part of it is you're asking that as all industries are getting digital, how can we be demand driven?
Yeah.
And I would say actually, uh, the we need to be supply driven because demand is there. If you look at the reports that have been published by nasscom about the skill gap for digital tech for people with digital skills, it is today it is 8x, and in 5 years it's going to become 20x, the gap between demand and supply. So people may say the jobs are not there, or the jobs are going as digital skills emerge, as automation happens, as artificial intelligence comes, takes over, robotics takes over. But the jobs are not going, the jobs are changing, and the jobs are evolving. In fact, the jobs are becoming more exciting.
Yeah.
Because today, you mentioned that technology is not just for the technical people, it is for everybody. You can write a program without even knowing how to code. Such tools, beautiful tools are available. So we can approach it at multiple levels. At one level, we need to approach it at the digital fluency level. I mentioned that earlier. Digital fluency is building an awareness of what is happening to the world about you with the influence of technology. So how you using Facebook, how is artificial intelligence and big data, how is Facebook using this, and how is it influencing you? When you choose a movie on Netflix and it gives you a recommendation, why has it given you this recommendation? Should you trust this recommendation, or should you try to use your own brains?
Yeah.
Look at cybersecurity. You keep hearing about phishing scams. You keep hearing about don't give out your personal details. And more, this has become absolutely crucial as our lives have just become centered around a cell phone. And now I'm not talking technology people. I'm talking about you and me.
Yeah.
I am still a little more involved in technology, but most people around us, we use the phone and the laptop. We feel, oh, we just use technology. We don't need to know anything about it. We need to know how this is influencing us.
Yeah.
That digital fluency piece, which we called awareness, that is something was a big focus area even for the government when we gave a proposal on how to design Future Skills Prime, and we gave them this idea of digital fluency, and they loved it. They said, because it's not just young people who need to know. People who are older, people who are running organizations, who are in leadership levels, if they don't understand the power of these technologies and what they can do, how can they build solutions which are at the cutting edge? So
Right.
India also needs innovators. India needs entrepreneurs. India needs business leaders who will take these solutions and take them to the world and make India the digital talent nation and say, we get it, we understand, and we will build your solutions for you. So digital fluency comes at the high level and at the leadership level, and for the non-tech people or the non-STEM, let's call it non-STEM. I think that's a good categorization, because there are students who are studying, so many students are studying subjects which are non-computer science related, non-maths related, non-engineering related. But think about law. Today, law is all about cybersecurity, cyber criminals. Law is about intellectual property. Law is about how artificial intelligence is affecting, what are these algorithms? How are they making these decisions for us?
Yeah.
Law is about how much data can go, is private, is not private, what can be shared, what can't be shared. So a law student, if they don't understand, at least have an awareness of these technologies, how will they practice law?
Right.
We have a psychology student. Every one of these technologies is actually based on human behavior. So if you can contribute to the algorithm of how humans actually behave, you build a better algorithm. And those coders don't need to be psychologists, but they definitely need the psychologists to work with them. If you talk about English, everything is about content today. But how will your content be consumed? How will it be used? If you don't understand how these platforms work, if you don't understand web, you don't understand cloud, you will be contributing at a suboptimal level. So build an awareness, and that's what we did at Future Skills Prime. And then, of course, we go deeper into the various courses. But you asked about, the spread and whether non-engineer, non-tech people can use it, and what was the thought. This was the thought, that at every level we need to understand to be able to use and apply.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way you have explained about digital fluency is making perfect sense. And I'm sure many of us will be able to connect to see how it has pervaded our lives. And we are a part of it knowingly or unknowingly. We are a part of some algorithm that, with from any device that we use, any application or a mobile app. So connected with this would be another point which I'm curious about. There are, like you mentioned, non-STEM students or non-engineering students. Plenty of them are seeking or are job seekers, and they would definitely like to perhaps learn and venture out in these fields. So how does the platform help them cope with or acquire those skills or knowledge which will help them, give them an entry into this sector?
So, Madhuri, that's my favorite question because that is really what we want to do. And it's a challenge because most non STEM students don't think that they need to learn about technology. But to us at Future Skills Prime, it's a huge need and we want to encourage them to do it. So, what should they do?
Yeah.
It, as you know, Future Skills Prime is free to access. So, anyone can log on. So once you log on, it will give you a range of technologies and what we call professional skills, 10 technologies and 10 professional skills. I think that's another point that I'd like to emphasize, that our philosophy is, and I think increasingly even research is saying, that it's not just about technical skills. You need to have the human to be able to perform effectively in this world. Humans have to collaborate, humans have to have empathy, humans have to manage the projects, humans have to display leadership. And technology is something that we will use, but our ability to work together in this crazy virtual world where you and I are meeting over Zoom and we are having this lovely conversation and we've never physically met, but it's not bothering us anymore.
Right.
So how do we do this effectively? We have to learn, we have to understand, because otherwise all the solutions that we build will be useless if we can't explain them to the person who we are pitching them to. So coming back to the non-STEM students, start with the digital fluency content. It's very easy. You go onto the platform, it will give you, say, supposing it gives you web and mobile development. Web and mobile is easy. All of us use the mobile, all of us use the web. So it's a good place to start if you're not a techie. So click on that. You will see some short 30-40 minute, specially curated pathways, learning pathways. 30-40 minutes is not long. It's a lovely bunch of videos and articles that have been put together in a logical sequence. So it's very interesting. So you can get started. You can build awareness. Now you say, oh, this is what this is about. Now let me see if I can learn more. Now, if you have a greater interest, you can either go to more pathways. So either you can learn about what is it, then you can say what are the applications of it, then you can say how are different industries using it. So there are different ways these pathways are structured. But then if it interests you and you want to go more, there are courses. Now you know the words, you know the vocabulary, you know the terms of what is important in this technology. So when you look through the course, it will make sense to you. Do I want to learn this? Do I want to learn about digital marketing? Or do I want to learn about web development? Do I want to learn about mobile apps? Or do I want to learn about cybersecurity? Once you've read the awareness content, the fluency content, depending on your interest as a history major, English major, psychology major, law major, you can decide where you want to go. So it's a nice, friendly, non-threatening way to get your feet wet and then decide whether you want to go for a swim.
Yeah, yeah, that's so nice the way you put it. Yeah, so they're basically becoming aware and trying to see if their curiosity levels are matching, and then they go forward. So do they also get to do some kind of coding or some WYSIWYG interfaces and all? Do they get to use that while they are
So
learning?
depends on what courses they are doing. The courses particularly have hands-on experience. I mean, given that it's an industry and government partnership, the one thing industry told us was that we don't need people with a whole bunch of theory. We need them to be able to practice.
Right.
So there is all the courses definitely have a hands-on environment in them. There are also a lot of free tools like if you use say Python. So there are courses on Python which also have an environment. We have just announced a partnership with GitHub. As you know, GitHub is one of the largest platforms for developers who want to try out coding. So we are still shaping that partnership to say what will GitHub help us build on the platform so that our learners get a hands-on environment. We have links to another site called Top Coder. So Top Coder is another platform where if you know how to code, you can go see projects that are available, bid for those projects, and get paid for working on those projects. It's an open platform.
Okay.
So lots of opportunities available, Madhuri. But if I'm guessing if you're a non-STEM student and you're at an awareness level, you probably won't jump into coding straight
Yeah,
away. You'll first build your awareness.
right.
But if you are already there, hey, jump in, go check it out.
Yes, and there are lots of them who do this out of, if they are creative and if they really want to pursue a career path which is different, I'm sure it's going to help them. Now, connected with the levels of, like you just mentioned, somebody could be just curious and wants to become aware. There is also another thing about the digital skills, which, let's say, for example, from the Ministry of Skill Development, we get to hear that the latest PMKVY, which is the short-term training, there's a lot of push for skilling people in all these cybersecurity, AI, ML, and the latest, like say 3D printing and these things. So how do you think we are able to reach there? What is your vision for including such courses in a very, in a very short term kind of a course like PMKVY, which is perhaps, I think, 6 months or so? And do you think it is feasible, or what are your ideas around it?
Very simple idea. Use it. I
Hmm.
mean, platform is available. It doesn't cost anything. The digital fluency content will always be free.
Hmm.
If you want to learn something, and if you're at PMKVY talks of so many sectors. I mean, skill development in so many sectors.
Yeah.
Now, everybody need to know how to code in Python? No, maybe not. So what is the level at which they need to know? And I think bulk of it is going to be at the digital fluency level.
Okay.
They need to know about the applications, and then a few of them will decide to go deep and develop the skills, because the PMKVY program will be on a particular skill.
Yeah.
They want to add on the digital skills or the future skills to to uh, to drive this whole awareness piece. I mean, PMKVY is also very a national program, so they are also aware of the national agenda. I mean, we have Digital India, we have now PMKVY, we have Skill India, we have Future Skills. All of them are actually pushing the same message. Future skills, we need to know about future skills, because that's how we will prepare our nation from the ground up. So anyone, and I'm not even talking about just ITS Sector Skills Council, of which I am a part. We will obviously tell our partners that please use this platform and dovetail it with all the programs that you're doing. But I would urge all Sector Skills Council, this platform is available, please leverage it.
Yeah. And yes, like you said, all the sector skill councils, because let's say automotive or tourism and hospitality, I think everywhere this knowledge is very much essential along with the skills.
And
So,
we are, just another example I'll give you, maybe you saw that article.
hmm.
IT companies, of course, are doing a lot of skilling in digital skills, and they have their programs and they are building digital awareness. I saw an article of Hindustan Lever saying they want to skill 19,000 of their employees on digital skills.
Hmm.
Now, that tells you something. When non-IT sector in the consumer goods space is looking to skill its employees in future skills, what does that tell you about the need or the requirement of these skills? So that's why I feel very optimistic that at some point, people are going to realize that this resource is already available. No need to reinvent the wheel. Go take a look at it. It's a mobile app. Any course you're teaching, continue teaching it, but get your students to do some of those courses. And you said, how can they showcase this? We've also learned that social media is very powerful. So you can earn badges when you complete these pathways, which are these digital fluency pathways. You can earn a badge. You can share that on LinkedIn. So when you go and you're going for an interview, and you can show your prospective employer the one skill everybody looks for, or the characteristic every employer looking for these days, is learning agility.
Hmm.
Is this person able to learn? Because life is now a continuous learning process.
Hmm.
Whatever you know now is going to be obsolete in 2 years. So you better have that mindset to continue learning and continue upgrading yourself. So when they're looking for learning agility, when you can show, see, I've earned this badge, see, I've earned this certificate, and you can demonstrate it, and it is from a trusted source,
Yeah.
it's a great way to differentiate yourself.
Right. Yeah. And also the emphasis on self-learning, the self-directed aspect of learning. I think all these are going to be very, very important. We have seen it in the last 6 to 9 months, how everybody has sailed through the crisis we were going through in terms of learning and online learning. So my last question to you would be, how would you describe the current status of the platform? How is it helping people? How many people have you reached, and how does it go, the future roadmap?
So the platform is doing well. We are rolling out in phases.
Hmm.
The current phase is all about, it's actually all free. We just wanted to get it out there and get people to start using it. We're seeing a huge uptake from colleges. Plus, we are seeing a huge enthusiasm from industry to participate because they're seeing this as a program with national prestige. So everybody wants to associate with it. And it's amazing the kind of contributions that companies are making. I don't know whether you followed that article or the launch of the virtual internships that Cisco launched.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
So we went to AICT and we said that all these engineering students, how are they going to get internships, and particularly in this COVID times, kaise hoga? So we proposed this virtual internship to them, and they said, okay, great idea, because we can do this at scale.
Hmm.
So we asked Cisco, would you be willing to participate? And they really went at it, and they worked with AICT, they worked with us, they built it out according to the norms of what AICT has and what SSC has, and they built it. So massive effort on the part of companies like that. We have AWS and Microsoft who have put all their content anyways out there. Of
Yeah.
course, it is a lot of their content is usually free, but it's just, it now comes nicely in a logical fashion. Somebody can go and see other things along with this. State governments are participating with us and saying this is a great way for us to push it out into our state and spread the message. Does it mean that whenever we have a session in Telangana and everybody in Telangana suddenly leaping forward and trying to log on to the platform? No, because most people know it here that they need to learn,
Yeah.
but really go and learn very much. So we have to, on their own, so we have to persuade them to learn. So Cisco example is a good one. Of how people see what's in it for them. Microsoft AI series, another good one, where people get a certificate for a 4-hour hands-on module that they are able to do. The numbers, I think we touched about 200,000 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And we have at least, I think it's about 40,000 people who are actually enrolled in courses, not just the digital fluency, but in courses, studying something to learn something. Now we have to push for the certifications, which will come in the next phase. But we said that let's get it out there, get the message of learning out there.
Yes. I think that's very important. And the fact that it has been achieved in such a short time says a lot about the efforts from your side, as well as the enthusiasm that's getting built for skilling and upskilling. I would also include upskilling here because, as I understand, many working professionals are also getting benefited from this platform.
So
Yeah.
that I do want to add a little point on that, because the working professionals upskilling, when you're looking at the IT sector, you have to look at it a little differently, because IT sector is very structured and they do their own programs very, very well. I mean, we know that this industry, the ITS industry, has just defined the way to do learning at scale.
Right.
But even there, we see people, because it's expensive. It's expensive to train thousands of people. So companies have limited budgets. So there they can leverage platforms like ours to build that general upskilling. So if I look at cybersecurity, the programs on cybersecurity, they're so good that companies are saying, "Achha, we'll just use this. We don't need to do our own program." We have a couple of companies who've said do the AI foundation course across all their employees. HR, finance, engineering, research, doesn't matter. Everybody do the AI foundation course. 16,000 people in a company have been asked to do this course. Why? Because we know that this foundation knowledge of AI is going to be at the basic basis of everything that industry does. So when we talk of upskilling, these are the kind of things that in the companies are adopting a lot of these foundation programs, particularly at a horizontal level.
Yeah, very interesting. Besides all that we just spoke about, is there something else you wish to add, Kirti? Any other points?
Well, we have a just a message to all the women out there who are listening and who will read that we have a Devjani Ghosh. She's president of NASSCOM. She's leading NASSCOM. There's leading Future Skills Prime, and we are very keen to see the percentage of women really go up on this platform. I've been speaking at so many events where we just want to encourage girls to take up and these technologies will really help you build. If you're looking for flexibility, you can build a very nice career with these technologies. They enable so much freedom to you.
Definitely, I think the message to women coming from you, we would also like to add to what you've just said from NSN. And I would definitely like to take this forward to as many women as possible from our platform, maybe specifically targeting them with the conversation, with the video which we would be sharing. Thanks a lot, Kirti, for talking to me today. We are really privileged to have you on our platform. And I look forward to be in touch with you. Thanks again.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.